You stole the money from the donation box, didn't you? The words hit the room like a slap. Everyone inside the small community center froze. Conversation stopped. Chairs scraped against the floor as people turned to look at the man standing near the entrance. Marcus Reed stood there, stunned. A tall, calm man in his early 30s, Marcus had volunteered at the center every weekend for almost 2 years. He helped kids with homework, fixed broken desks, and even donated some of his own paycheck to keep the place running. But now, all eyes were on him. Mrs. Carlton, the center's coordinator, held the small metal donation box in her trembling hands. The lock was broken, and the money inside was gone. "And you were the last one in the room last night," she continued, her voice sharp with suspicion. "So explain that." Marcus felt his chest tighten. "I didn't take anything," he said quietly. But the silence that followed told him something painful. No one believed him. Rumors spread fast. By the end of the day, everyone in the building seemed to know about the missing money. Parents whispered near the doorway. Volunteers avoided eye contact. Even some of the kids looked confused and distant. Marcus tried to stay calm. "I've been helping here for 2 years," he reminded Mrs. Carlton. "Why would I suddenly steal from the same kids I've been helping?" She sighed. "I want to believe you, Marcus. But the security camera in the hallway stopped working last night, and you were the only one here." Those words felt like a verdict, framed by circumstances. Marcus walked home slowly that evening, replaying everything in his head. The empty streets felt heavier than usual. He knew one thing for sure. Someone had taken the money. And somehow, it had been arranged to look like it was him. If you enjoy powerful stories like this, take a moment to like and subscribe for more stories that reveal the truth behind injustice. Your support keeps these stories alive. The next morning, Marcus woke up to 3 missed calls and several messages. One message from a parent read, "Is it true you stole from the kids?" His stomach dropped. Another message came from the center's board chairman. "Marcus, until this situation is resolved, please don't return to the center." He stared at the phone in disbelief. 2 years of trust, erased overnight. But Marcus refused to accept defeat. If someone framed him, there had to be a reason. And if there was a reason, there had to be evidence. He returned to the community center later that afternoon. Technically, he had been told not to come back. But he wasn't there to volunteer. He was there to clear his name. Inside, the building was quiet. Most of the programs had already ended for the day. Marcus walked slowly down the hallway. Something felt off. He stopped near the supply closet. The door was slightly open. That was strange. Mrs. Carlton was always careful about locking it. Marcus pushed it open. Inside, boxes of old decorations, sports equipment, and cleaning supplies filled the shelves. Then he noticed something unusual. A small black object taped to the inside wall. It looked like a tiny camera. Marcus frowned. Why would there be a camera inside a storage closet? Unless someone had been recording something. His heart began to race. Marcus carefully removed the device. It was small, almost like a pocket security camera. Still powered on. And it had a memory card inside. He rushed home. Within minutes, he connected the card to his laptop. The footage began playing. At first, nothing happened. Just an empty closet. Then the timestamp showed 11:42 p.m. The closet door slowly opened. Marcus leaned closer to the screen. A man stepped inside. Not Marcus. It was Daniel. One of the newer volunteers. Daniel looked around nervously before pulling something from his backpack. The metal donation box. Marcus felt his pulse pounding. On the footage, Daniel broke the lock with a small tool, took the money, then whispered something that made Marcus freeze. Marcus will take the fall for this. Marcus sat back in shock. He had been framed. The next morning, Marcus returned to the community center. This time, he wasn't alone. Mrs. Carlton, 2 board members, and several volunteers stood in the main hall. Marcus placed his laptop on the table. "You accused me of stealing," he said calmly. Mrs. Carlton folded her arms. "Marcus, unless you have proof." "I do." He pressed play. The room fell silent as the video showed Daniel entering the closet, breaking the donation box, and blaming Marcus. Gasps filled the room. Mrs. Carlton covered her mouth. One of the board members whispered, "Unbelievable." Just then, the front door opened. Daniel walked inside. He froze when he saw everyone staring at the screen. Marcus turned the laptop toward him. "Want to explain this?" Daniel's face turned pale. If this moment shocked you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful stories where the truth finally comes to light. Daniel tried to speak. I can explain." But the video continued playing. His own voice filled the room. "Marcus will take the fall for this." The evidence was undeniable. Daniel lowered his head. "I needed the money," he admitted quietly. "My debts. I panicked." "But why frame Marcus?" Mrs. Carlton asked, hurt in her voice. Daniel shrugged weakly. "He was the easiest target." Those words hit Marcus harder than the accusation itself. The easiest target. 2 years of kindness, and someone thought he was disposable. The police were called. Daniel was taken away shortly after. But the damage done to Marcus was harder to erase. Later that evening, Mrs. Carlton approached him. Her voice trembled. "I'm so sorry, Marcus. I should have trusted you." Marcus looked around the room. At the same walls where he had spent countless weekends helping kids learn and grow. Trust, once broken, wasn't easy to rebuild. But he smiled gently. "We all make mistakes," he said. "What matters is whether we learn from them." A week later, the community center held a small gathering. Parents, volunteers, and kids filled the hall. Mrs. Carlton stepped forward. "I want everyone to know that Marcus Reed was falsely accused," she said. "And he is the reason the truth came out." Applause filled the room. Some parents even stood. Marcus felt something he hadn't felt all week. Relief. Not just because he had been proven innocent, but because the truth had finally been seen. Before the event ended, Marcus spoke to the crowd. "I learned something important this week," he said. "When someone is accused, it's easy to assume the worst. But the truth doesn't disappear just because people stop looking for it." He looked at the kids in the front row. "Always remember this. A lie may run fast, but the truth always catches up." If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories about justice, truth, and second chances. Because sometimes, someone may be framed, but not for long.